down by the campground. The fire's burning low, chatting with old friends, watching embers glow. Sweet tea in a mason jar simply can't be beat. Dr. Pepper's bubbling, giving us that Texas heat. Coffee's brewing strong in the morning light. Hot cocoa warms our hearts on a chilly night. Talking about the good old days back in the navy blue. Patriotic tales, yeah, we've got a few. Kicking back with Katie 7 LTN, listening to the airwaves like back when. Stories of the past and dreams of the new, in our small Texas town where skies are true. Nights in the Lone Star, stars shining bright. Amateur radio in the still of the night. Transmissions clear, bouncing off the sky. KD7 and LTN and friends, reaching far and wide. Flags proudly waving, Old Glory in the breeze. We know what it means to be truly free. Veteran hearts beat in this sacred land. Under Texas skies, we always take a stand. Kicking back with KD7 LTN, listening to the airwaves like back when. Stories of the past and dreams of the new, in our small Texas town where skies are true.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Howdy, Daniel. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit now. Try it here. Hello. Oh, got it. There. Oh, okay, there we go. Hopefully it's working now. Can you hear me now? Trying to do this from a phone, so yeah, not easy. Okay. Can you hear me, or is Verizon being a stinker? Okay. All right. So yeah, I just thought I'd attempt to throw a live together, but it's kind of difficult here. Doing from phone. Uh, and my phone's being slow to boot. Uh, Lots of stuff going on, but fortunately, probably better off waiting a little bit to talk about it. Or hello, Jen. Well, thanks for dropping in. We're kicking it. We're not kicking you out. So, not giving you the boot. Uh, but yeah, just I come on, hang out for a few, attempt to distress a little bit. A lot of good that does. But when you got people that want to lie on you. But I did catch some of AVA's stream with Skipper this morning. Skipper and Squid and TC and Flying Auditor when he flew in and out. Uh, Everybody welcome. If like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, roast me, whatever. Or roast me, toast me. At least today's a little warmer here in Texas. Not much, just a little. Up in the 50s today. But it's gonna get chilly again tonight, so loads of fun. At 57 outside as yeah, right now. 58. Yeah. So I'll try and jump on a little bit. I still got a couple of days before I get uh fresh internet on the jetpack. So uh one day I'll have a Starlink, hopefully. If the second coming, or I'm not locked up, or some silly thing instead. And why might I get locked up, you say? Is because, well, basically because we're full time RVers. And that is wrong, according to some people. Either that, or because of our American flag by our front door, or the fact that we're an RV ministry, or that we're veterans and stood up for our rights. And therefore, standing up for your rights under the law, apparently, according to law enforcement and CPS and the family court system, that is reason to believe you might be abusing or neglecting your child. Don't know how those equal that, but yeah. Anything's 100% legal. You're within the law. Asserting your rights is within the law, but apparently that's a sign of guilt when you demand that they have a warrant, according to my alleged legal representative. I said my prayers on that, Daniel, and the house and whatnot. I'm again, I'm just a forgotten vet, even amongst some of the groups I support. So, or I thought I supported. It is what it ain't.
Here's a fun fact about golf. Statisticians calculate that the average golfer has a 1 in 12,000 chance of making a hole-in-one, and the odds of two aces in a single round is a staggering 1 in 67 million.
I know Sunset's not that close to that, but all right. Ah, yeah. Don't know what a whole lot to talk about. Like I said, mostly just hanging out. Moment, I'm just gonna throw this in here.
In the trenches of the soul we stand,
Yeah.
as the veterans of this sacred land. Rival fires burn within our hearts, revelations bright like cosmic stars. Scripture guides us through the darkest night. Rev the engine of our holy fight. With reverence words we raise the holy
Yeah.
cry. In the name of faith we touch the sky. We're marching on with banners raised. In the cosmic war, it's Him we praise. Rev's are here for us to shine. In the glory of the
Yeah.
divine.
Look at everyone here.
In the shadow of the cross I stand, with a servant spirit firm in hand. Under the watchful eye of the King, I hear the angels start to sing. With a heart that's bound to God's great love,
Drop the link if anybody wants to join me. Or
from above. Through trials and tears I'll walk this land, faithful always to His grand plan. God, I follow with unwavering might. In the darkest hour, You are my light. Jesus Christ, my Savior and friend, faithful always to His grand plan. God, I follow with unwavering might. In the darkest hour, You are my light. Jesus Christ, my Savior and friend, in Your name my battles won't end. God's great love, a warrior spirit from above. Through trials and tears, I'll walk this land, faithful always to His
Mm.
grand
Oh yeah,
plan.
there it is. Big oak video. Videos and pizza.
Walking through valleys in the pale moonlight,
Hi, Wise.
got my Bible and a prayer for the fight. Faith keeps me strong when the night's
I've
so
done some couple of
long.
other
Christian
AI
cowboy,
creations as well. I just haven't
journaling a
uploaded them to the
hopeful
restream yet.
song. Veteran scars in a battle-worn heart. Scripture gives strength to make a fresh start. Everyday trials, they're testing my soul. But faith is the glue that makes me whole. Ride on cowboy through the storm and the dust. In God we trust, that's a must. Through the hardships, through the pain, in faith's embrace we remain. Grateful for comrades and the paths they paved, honor in our service, the lives they saved. Military brothers in arms so true, in the dawn's light I think of you. Life's winding road can be long and tough, but with God's grace it's always enough. Scripture in hand, faith in our stride. On this journey we ride side by side. Ride on cowboy through the storm and the dust. In God we trust, that's a must. Through the hardships, through the pain, in faith's embrace we remain. Ride on cowboy through the storm and the dust. In God we trust, that's a must. Through the hardships, through the pain, in faith's embrace we remain. We remain. We remain. We remain. We remain.
If anybody wants to join me on panel, you're
Paths they
welcome to.
pave, honor in our service, the lives they save.
Yeah, I'm not
Military
doing much of
brothers
nothing.
in arms so true, in the dawn's light I think of you. Ride on cowboy through the storm and the dust. In God we trust, that's a must. Through the hardships, through the pain, in faith's embrace we remain. We remain. We remain. We remain.
So much off mode at the
We
moment. But
remain.
here again, always in faith is always under attack. So whether it's now or 4 hours from now or whatever. Hmm. I saw there's too many people doing a live at the moment. So I thought I'd attempt to throw one together. Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what Alice clips are. Ooh, or you mean alligator clips. Got a few of those. I'd say surprisingly, I made it to the new year. The way my health was going back around August, I didn't think I was going to make it this far. Because the VA still hasn't given me community care. The one advocate I thought I had has moved on way past me, so okay, I understand AVA kind of like a clip version of what now they use the Molly system for. I get it. I think sort of best way to describe it, I guess. I'll just say I'm not. I haven't had the pleasure to become familiar with those. So I mean, heck, I had a freaking appointment a month ago with the VA primary care doctor. He was supposed to do a bunch of prescriptions, and then I was supposed to be notified so I could go over there to the VA clinic, and pick them up. But I never got notified via Healthy Vet, which is a email texting type messaging system, and or via phone. I meet the qualifications. I was going through a third party contractor and was literally like hours away from having community care, but because of the arbitrary time clock, yeah, it had to go back to the VA, but the VA was no longer doing the third party. They went in house here in Texas. All community care is assigned via in house personnel who, well, we know the VA employees, they're just there to collect a paycheck and can give two shakes about that. I mean, and heck, one of the things I was also trying to be set up for was well, it was an appointment, but not so much an appointment with uh, pulmonary because to get more CPAP supplies. And they called and left a message because I was sleeping and missed the call. So I called back to schedule the appointment. Well, guess what? They don't answer the doggone phone and never called me back again. It's a freaking joke. And I can only there's only so many hours of the day, and even less when I'm actually up and alive, awake enough to do anything. And got so many things I trying to have to do during those few hours that yeah, I need help. I admit I need help. I need someone to help advocate for me, help me fight the fight. I can't do it alone. And AVA, as a veteran, that is a hard thing to say. We can't, when you sit there and when you're yeah, for a veteran to say I can't do it alone, I need help. Those are some of the hardest words for any man to say, let alone a veteran. And especially if you were brought up, you know, Gen X like I am. That means to admitting failure. That means to admitting that you're not as good of a man that you think that you want to be. And they wonder why veterans don't seek out mental health. the patient advocates have blocked me. I don't even have access to the patient advocates on the secure messaging. And patient advocates aren't patient advocates. They're red tape pokers. That's all they are. They poke at the red tape. Say, hey, this person's complaining. Do just enough. You need to do just enough so they stop complaining. Don't even cut through the red tape. I haven't even been denied it. If I was denied, that'd be one thing. I'm basically approved. They just aren't getting off their lazy freaking asses. I'm tired of calling complaint OIG and the complaint hotlines when they don't do nothing. Heck, Senator Cruz, Senator, head over the VA committee. He's my senator. He was the senator that me and Skipper were reaching out to, or at his office, and they basically, oh my gosh, they took a freaking, we're not going to tell you freaking letter from the VA. I get tired of complaining daily for my own sanity. I was doing that and they still weren't doing nothing. Uh, uh, but that's why I need help. Is you know, I try to do FOIA requests because those one FOIA request I put out there and was denied both at the local and the federal level, and that was approvals versus denials versus branch of service. Well, just approval and denial percentages, and if they had any demographic information to add that too, add that as well. If they had any demographic breakdown of approvals versus denials for powered mobility aids, such as powered mobility scooters. And look at how hard of a fight you've had to do, AVA, and yeah, and it shouldn't be this hard, but yeah, I just shouldn't be this hard. But my problems aren't just with the VA. You know, I can't hardly get around, so it's not like I can go and walk up to the state capitol, for example, and redress my grievances there regarding some of the stateside stuff that isn't federal. Yeah, just a constant attack. And then also had the I thought Scars was up and running. And I had no problem signing releases and stuff. Only if I have to go and sign in person, that's where I run into problems. For example, there was supposedly a advocate through like the Legion or something, through like the American Legion or something like that, or a county, one of the VSO. That's right, it was VSO. But I had no way to get to that county in person with him to sign the release. And then he was pretty much, well, he is one that was suggested to me by other vets as I followed Skipper's lead and reached out to local veteran Facebook groups to find, his was the only name that came up. But yet, yeah, since I wasn't in his county, he really didn't want much of nothing to do with me. You realize I've been fighting since 2016 with the VA? I've been fighting since 2019 to get a mobility scooter.
Excuse me, there is a
In
message for you.
2016, I was in New York State, Vision 2. Rochester Outpatient Clinic, Canandaigua Hospital, Bath Hospital, Wellsville Outpatient Clinic in New York, Buffalo, going to the Buffalo Hospital for an MRI. Wasn't even done in the right location. It was ordered for basically an inch below where the problem would be. Then I went to Ohio, had issues with what is that? Marion, Ohio outpatient clinic, and then Cleveland, back up there by Erie, for the hospital. And of course, that was in the middle of COVID. Then I got to Kentucky in the Carroll County outpatient clinic, in Carrollton, Kentucky, was very unresponsive. I had a little bit better luck with the Louisville Rob Rexley VA Medical Center, but I was on my way to Texas. And only reluctantly was doing the Kentucky stuff because I'd been in Kentucky too long and I really needed new meds and stuff. Then I get down to Texas and I'm out of what would have been the Houston hospital, but I got stuck with the Lufkin outpatient clinic because of Livingston, Texas. And then there I had a Vietnamese physician at the tail end of COVID who basically was combative with all veterans. And then that's also around the same time that a lot of VA physicians started to help illegals more than veterans. And luckily, that dude resigned. Because basically, the reason he was combative is because he was of Vietnamese heritage. Nothing against people from other countries, but yeah, let's stick a primary care from Vietnam with a bunch of Vietnam vets. I'm not a non-vet. I'll admit I'm not, but you know, the fellow patients that were seeing him were. You think that's not going to trigger a lot of veterans? Trigger their shell shock, their PTSD. If all of a sudden their primary care doctor at home at the VA was basically their enemy at one point. It was drilled into their head that person, that heritage was the enemy. Right or wrong, but I mean, and I can honestly say, basically, I've had very few natural born American citizens as my primary care or any part of the care. I get stuck with these foreigners that have, foreign born working for the VA in charge of my health care. And it just, in my case, more than 75% of my health care has been controlled by foreign born medical so called professionals. And and the countries they are born in are highly critical of the U.S. And I think that's a lot of the problems with the VA system. Oh yeah, hire a bunch of physician's assistants to work under one medical doctor's license and malpractice insurance. That's a game all hospitals, all medical facilities are doing here in the States. And wise if you're still here, yeah. This is the state of our healthcare system, both VA and a little bit of and non-VA. I mean, heck, I had a double ear infection. Oh, that was funny. Before I started seeking care through the VA, oh my goodness! Back when I tried to I was installing Direct TV for through a contract company. I was installing Direct TV on people's roofs in New York State in the wintertime. I had a double ear infection. You know what happened when I went to a clinic with a German-born doctor? Oh, you're a smoker, therefore you just need a breathing treatment. You'll be fine. Then I went to the neighboring hospital the very next day, and yeah, I had a double ear infection, both ears, and I think that's part of the reason why I have vertigo issues now. Hey, Mr. T, no worries. He's scheduled for basically about another 25 minutes late. Here in about 25 minutes when he's scheduled to go. If he wants, I'll join him, but over there. But thought I'd put something here on my own channel for and have fun with it. I'm sorry if my volume's not the greatest. I'm not even facing my phone. I'm facing the computer so I can see the chat easier. No, I am doing really well, crappy. Physical health, mental health, and spiritual's under attack. And don't help that people who you thought you could call friends all of a sudden abandon you like a hot potato. And yeah, I sound a little self-centered or self-centric or whatever you want to call it, narcissistic about that. But I mean, the truth is the truth. I wasn't even acknowledged by them in chat. I know you try AVA and Skipper tries in his way, but and of course you're mentioned, Angry Vets mentioned, since I don't have a whole lot of video footage from the VA from my problems. Apparently, I'm not worth listening to. I don't matter. I'll just say that, yeah, you, Line Justice, Angry Vet, uh, Flying Auditor, DC Skip, yeah. But basically, the one person who's basically been kicked to the curb like a bad habit is me. Do anymore. Tired of the fight, especially when now I've got other fights that are well. Always end up with some other fights from some other direction. Whether it's a generator. Well, I took care of the generator thing on my own, basically putting myself deeper in debt to get another generator, to finance another generator because I couldn't get help with the generator. It's more than just that AVA. I mean, I know he was doing a comparison of Kevin versus and Blind Justice versus you, and and that part I didn't have an issue with that. It's the overall attitude because I said a couple of things because I was watching from your channel, giving you the watch time. And I made a couple of comments in chat in relation to it. And I even did at panel, and yeah, and at one point Skipper was trying to help promote my Give Send Go. Then Uncle Frank had the Hurricane Helene. Okay, fine, I get it. Needed housing. I get it. And TC's wife, and now it's back to Uncle Frank's funeral. They're trying to help me. My fundraiser for the scooter is only at $612. Yeah, if I was to get a light duty scooter that can't even hold me, yeah, I could do that. But I can't even find a used scooter that'll hold my weight for that price. I know. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace, everything. I've even tried reaching out to the local VFW, the local Legion post, to the local scooter dealers who referred me and said that they to talk to the Legion and VFW. But look at how much money was raised just by Skipper pushing it. Look at yeah, maybe a little bit of jealousy or something, but look at how much money was raised quickly for Uncle Frank and quickly for TC's wife. Yes, I tried. And all they did was tell me to talk to the VFW or the Legion. I called the local VFW. They had a scooter, but it was basically rated for just under my weight rating. Plus, the seat was too skinny. And yeah, I love to. I thought about maybe doing it anyways. But then I called the American Legion. The American Legion referred me to someone who works with DAV and does all that. I reached out to that. I called that person. And this was before Christmas. That person never called me back, and I left a voicemail. But and I haven't even touched the donation. So, it's still sitting there on Give Send Go. I mean, if there was a different way, everything I needed was paid for regarding a scooter. Like I said, if somebody donated a scooter and the ramp or whatever I needed to for the boards I needed to be able to get in and out of this trailer, I basically would refund all that money on, Give and Go. But I haven't touched a penny of it. Well, right now I've got an APD, an Austin Police Department officer wrote up a false report for child neglect, and because I asserted my rights to demand that they have a warrant, they're suing me for access to my child in my home, my RV. And part of what they're saying is the reason that I'm obviously neglecting is because I asserted my rights, therefore I must be guilty. So I've got fights on so many different fronts. I've I've called up to 30 miles away to businesses regarding scooters, AVA, and had them and gave them my information in case something came in that they could reach it back out to me about. That one was at least a little more friendly. But the other one that's actually closer to the VA, yeah, between the state park and the VA, so you would think they would understand RVers and veterans a little better, was more strict on their policies. I'll just put it that way. They weren't a-holes, but they weren't, very super helpful either. Because they also sell uh, accessible vehicles. I'm in Austin, Texas. It's by car, not by RV, but by car. It's a minimum of 7 to 8 hour drive to cross any state line. I know you are, Daniel. I've also had some supposed offers to help with Starlink in person, here by physical people that have told my wife, "Oh yeah, we'll help you with the Starlink," and then something happens. Oh, we're still waiting for it to say delivered, or what for such say is delivered there, or oh, unfortunately, or they're got sick and in the hospital. I mean, it is literally nothing against the people; they're well intended, but it is literally spiritual attack. I've tried. I've had people reach out to me on Facebook saying, hearing about my situation regarding the scooter, told me to contact other organizations. I did, and they said they would contact a different organization on my behalf. And we're talking about an organization up in the Dallas Fort Worth area that, yeah, they even give away RVs to veterans. But yeah, don't ask for much. I try not to ask at all for anything. And it's hard if you're the one needing it, being the one doing the asking, because I'll just say this: if someone else were doing the asking on my behalf, I meet with people, because otherwise, to reference a different issue, it's almost like Lynette, LP, and JC begging someone else for something. And people get frustrated and pissed off and basically turn their backs to that kind of stuff. But if someone else were to ask upon on my behalf, it actually shows that the request is legitimate. It legitimizes the request. And unfortunately, that's just the way it's become because of people like LP and JC. And they're not the only ones, that's all over the country. People like that ruin it for anybody else ever trying to ask for help. And also, in the other half of asking companies, I mean, I've done everything but ask the manufacturers. Well, actually, I did call one manufacturer. I called Pride and tried to speak with them about trying to come up with a heavy duty, lighter weight scooter. I'd appreciate that, AVA. You know, like I say, it's more about, like I see, me making the request. Obviously, apparently, I'm 6'2". I weigh almost 400 pounds. Me making the request, they automatically assume Jolly Green Giant can go freaking build a house. Get out of my hair. And don't forget, in the military, I was nothing but a E2, E3, basically an E nothing. I was not an officer. My disabilities aren't technically service related. Well, carbon fiber would be an option. Or that aluminum combination that, say, like Tesla's been implemented for the Cybertruck. You know, just reinforcing in the right areas, you're usually okay. But anyways, but yeah. Sidetrack. Now my brain's not functioning very well. But yeah, they look at me, or they hear my voice, and like I said, I was an E nothing, and I'm not. I am a veteran with disabilities. I am not a disabled veteran. So therefore, yeah. And the fact that I'm poor and not in membership of all their organizations and have donated to them for the last 50 years. I tried reaching out to other groups regarding other things in the past that I needed help, like when I needed help trying to fix a generator. I reached out to a local amateur radio club here in Austin. And yeah, didn't get any help that way either. So yeah, it's stuck between a rock and a hard place. I have gabapentin for pain, but it makes me even more tired and I sleep harder, and so I don't take it that often. I'm not a retiree. I didn't even make it 4 years. And there used to be the Navy Marine Corps Relief Fund, but that's designed more for active duty. In fact, that was part of what uh, that's part of what hastened my discharge, was a donation to them. Wrote it, wrote a check to them, and the check bounced because Bill Clinton and the Democrats didn't want to pay anybody on time back then because of government shutdowns. Pay was delayed, so check bounced because I was forced into direct deposit in the first place. Yeah, I was able to save my discharge because what I was charged with was intent to defraud, and nobody intends to defraud a charity. It's the only thing that basically saved my bacon. They didn't even give me a chance to correct. They turned around and went straight to my command. That and the CO of my command actually liked me. He saw that I was a hard worker. Yeah, just service-connected disabled veterans. I'm a veteran with disabilities. I have disabilities that the VA is so reluctant to recognize. Won't even give me the appointment to get a rating. Well, I'm a more independent ministry, and the organization I'm ordained through is a lot of independent. There's a lot of independent ministers. Some of them are with church, have the various churches, but many of them don't have money. Don't really have that much money to begin with themselves. A lot of them also have disabilities themselves. So, but that time to start shutting my little stream down because I know Daniel's getting ready to go live, so do his thing. It's just in general, I hope he's kicking into a little more upbeat. Right now I'm very downtrodden. I'm more beat up than upbeat. And the worst part is most of it's from the government that I enlisted to protect. Go figure. Y'all have fun. Shalom.
We gathered around the campfire's glow. Stars dance high where the warm winds blow. Sweet tea in a mason jar, solid as a stone. Laughter floats like smoke, we're never alone. Dr. Pepper fizzing, light hits the glass. Coffee brewing slow, time here seems to pass. Hot cocoa whispers tales to the night, stories of the road where everything feels right. Kicking back with friends, no worries in sight. KD7LTN, our voices fill the night. With amateur radio, we share our land, holding on to moments as embers turn to sand. Jane tunes the dial, finds a friendly voice. Static crackles softly, in the quiet we rejoice. Talking about the little things, living day by day. Simple countryside where we'd rather stay. Cedar smoke mixes with the midnight dew. There's magic in the air and everything we do. Paul tells a story about the mountains far, just another chapter neath this familiar star. Kicking back with friends, no